What's good? Welcome to my channel. My name's Nancy and today I have a special theme speed build. It's inspired by a new play by Jonathan Larkin titled Cherry Jezebel. Now, before we go any further, let's take a little peek at the trailer for a bit of context. So, as you can see, behind the mascara, the wigs and the 6-inch stiletto heels, all that glitters is not gold for our Cherry. Now this play, it's beautiful, it's raw and funny, and with such amazing, authentic, captivating characters. First, you've got Cherry Brandy, a legend in her living room and an icon in the public. But when the music stops and the lights come up, the scars are getting harder to hide beneath the war paint. Next is her best friend Heidi Handjob / Harlow, desperately seeking someone, and her search is over. She's found love and she's found herself. It's time for her to hang up the drag and dare to live her truth. Next, there's Pearl Reckless, a work of art on socials and a hot mess in real life. They're sticking 2 fingers up to the patriarchy and looking for likes in the most dangerous places. And finally, you've got Mo, a Matthew Street meathead until the 6th pint, that is. And then Mo's mask drops quicker than his chinos. As of recording, tickets are still available to see this production live at the Liverpool Everyman Theatre. I will also put in a link to the play text if you would love to read the script yourself, and I'll also just drop in a couple of links to the reviews and some of the amazing production photos. If you do get the chance to experience any kind of version of this production, please make sure to do so. Now, half of the play takes place in a nightclub toilet, but the other half is in Cherry's flat, and that is the inspo for this build. And as you saw in the trailer, the setting of Cherry's flat was, quite cluttered and chaotic, and very much has Cherry's energy and personality splashed in like every corner of the place. She loves a good night out, and she's experienced so much in her life that there are always just these tiny little bits of details and furnishings and items that reflect that in the build. And if you've seen my Sims build videos before, I love a bit of clutter in my builds. I just feel it adds so much more personality and story for the Sims that you create to live in there, and so creating a version of Cherry's flat really let me play about with putting together so many obscure or mismatched pieces, as you'll see throughout this video. So the energy for this flat of what I was going for was that it was the last stop on a night out. If you didn't want the music and the good times to end, this is the house that you will come to. It's chaotic, it's mad, but it's all about having a good time, no matter how insane the night may turn out. So it may seem a little bit obvious, but with a title like Cherry Jezebel, I had to have a lot of red featured in the build. Like, that was going to be one of the prominent colours. For the bedroom, this is kind of the Cherry's boudoir section, and I thought it was nice to, instead of having a wall or an archway, just to have curtains, like, so that kind of semi-private open plan kind of studio flat energy. So everything's kind of all open. There's no secrets apart from what's going on in the bathroom. What I thought was essential for this build, rather than say, an extra bedroom, a dedicated dressing room. I think for Cherry, she's got a lot of events that she likes to go to. She has a very active nightlife, so I feel like she would dedicate some space to her full glam whenever she needs to. And with the dresser, I wanted to have something that looked quite antique. I think that's from the vintage glamour pack, I think that's what it's called. They're very kind of like retro, kind of classic Hollywood energy. But anyway, this vanity, in my head, this is something that she inherited from her mum. You know, it's a little bit scratched up if you can see some of the finer details of it, but it's still like lovingly looked after and still sturdy, and that's just a lovely little keepsake because Cherry's mum was, you know, one of her biggest supporters, always loved her just the way she was. And so I thought it was really nice that every time Cherry wants to go into full glam mode, she sat at her mother's dresser, got a little picture on the side of her. There's a bust if she wanted to put on any of her wigs, and we have full walk-in wardrobe, all the beauty accessories, everything. And here, this is kind of the nitty gritty bit of when you're doing cluttered builds. Obviously there are fixed slots for where you can place things in The Sims, so with the good old move objects cheat and a lot of patience, you can position things just the way you want, and it's just nice for a little bit of realism. It's not all neat. So after a few more moments of adding a few more finishing touches to the walk-in wardrobe, I get right back stuck into doing Cherry's bedroom. With the bedside tables, again, they're not gonna match. I like having the pile of suitcases. That's from, actually both of the bedside tables are from the City Living pack, one of my favourites. And the rugs, that was a bit of a faff. Just trying to have chaos but have it still look sort of semi coordinated, because that's the thing, there's a kind of style that some people have where if anyone else were to put those combinations together, whether it be colours or patterns, if there was a complete clash, it doesn't clash with them, whether it's their fashion sense or the way they decorate their home. If it was like mine, for example, you think, you absolute confused gal, what's going on? Like, none of this makes sense. It doesn't flow, it doesn't complement each other. And I don't know, maybe after the end of this build you'll think the same about this build, and that is something, if you ever wanted to download it, that you would completely redecorate, and I understand that, I respect that. But I was hoping that the chaos still complemented each other. I don't know, that's the kind of style I was going for anyway. And you know, couches that don't match, the multiple rugs piled up, some random antique bits. You know, I guess I could narrate this entire thing and just talk about each individual item and why I thought that would work well. And honestly, there's no rhyme or reason, to be honest. Maybe for a couple of items, but for a lot of them I was just like, I need stuff. I just need a lot of random bits thrown in there. Doing the coffee table was quite fun as well, and I think as I progress through the build and, you know, I get the main bulk of things down, I get the kitchen pieces in, I get the bathroom bits and pieces, there are a lot of wildcard things, like why is that there? Like, jumping ahead, I put a fishing net in the bathroom. Why is that in Cherry's bathroom? I don't know. There's an amazing story behind it and she'd be able to tell you all about it. Her and her amazing holidays with her best friend Heidi and all the other gals on the scene. It's just, there's a lot going on. You know, we've got the bubble machine, that's a bit cheeky, again from the City Living pack. It's basically like shisha, essentially. You know, if you read the play, you know, these people, they like to dabble in all sorts to make sure that they have a good time. And there's also a phone box. That made no sense, and I knew it didn't, but I was like, nah, I'm going to. That phone box came from the Cottage Living expansion pack. It was serving very much English countryside energy, a la Henford on Bagley, and I was like, well, welcome to Cherry's flat. I don't know where she got the phone box from. Again, you can make up your own narrative, you can make up your own kind of stories. The Sims is a game of storytelling, and almost anything can happen in it. So on that note, I think I'll leave it at that. There's not much else to say about this build. There's a lot of items, there's a lot going on. Does it make sense? Maybe not all of it does, but it's cozy and homey and it's perfect for Cherry and all her friends and lovers when they come to visit. So I'm just going to let you vibe. At the end of the video I will also include some pictures as well with my version of the characters from the play as Sims hanging out in Cherry's flat, vibing, living their best Sim lives. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you soon for another video. Bye!
But first I stretch and run it on. I wake up, flex, on down that check. No drip is white and run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch and run it on. I wake up, flex, on down that check. No drip is white and run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck.